Let's talk about the business life cycle. On this graph, across the horizontal axis, I've got time in years, and on the vertical axis, dollars, which will represent various financial metrics. Each company begins with a launch, and then grows the business during its rapidly expanding phase. There may be a shakeout amongst competition, and from there it reaches maturity, and finally a state of decline. This is the classic business life cycle. Now, at various stages of this life cycle, financial metrics look very different. The first one we're going to review is sales or revenue. At launch, of course, it's zero. It grows very rapidly during the growth phase. Shakeout is when competition enters, and there's, as you can see, sort of a peak to the sales growth as competition becomes fierce and the industry becomes mature and eventually declines. Now, following sales or revenue, you have profit. Profit can often be negative in the early days of a business, shortly following launch, as you see it dipping negative in this graph, sort of breaking even at the growth phase, and then just slowly growing and perhaps even declining during maturity. Now, it's important to notice that this profit cycle lags the sales cycle. So there's a time delay between the sales growth and the profit growth. This is important for when we talk about funding. And the third part of the cycle is cash flow, the actual cash of the business. And cash even lags profit. So when you think about all of the upfront costs of starting a business, many of them may be capitalized and not reflected in profit, but certainly impact cash flow. So you can see cash dipping even more negative than profit in the early phases, but then rising to be higher than profit in the later phases when capital spending is largely behind the business, and therefore cash generation is higher than profit on the income statement. This is also important when we talk about funding a business. I should note that many businesses do experience a life cycle extension by reinventing themselves, reinvesting in technology, and may continue to repeat this cycle over and over.